Harvest isn't easy. Long hours, heavy loads, hard miles. But the work doesn't stop when the crop comes out. At Landis, we know next year's harvest is already in the making. It starts with choosing the right seed. It builds with acreage inputs that push your crop further. And it stays sharp with Sky Scout technology that finds issues before they cost you bushels. This isn't chance, it's planning, and it's what we do together. Talk to your Landis advisor or stop at your local Landis location today. And let's get next season started.
Kids. They grow up so fast. One day they're taking their first steps, and the next, they don't fit into the tiny sneakers they took them in. You blink your eyes and their princess dress is 2 sizes too small, and their dinosaur backpack isn't cool anymore. But don't cry because they're growing up. Smile, because you can profit off of it. For real, there are a bunch of parents on Depop looking for the stuff your kid just grew out of. Download Depop to start selling.
Welcome to Farm Your Daily, a Field Forward podcast. I'm your host, David Geiger. Today on Farm Your Daily, the World Food Prize is in town, and I was there at the Borlaug Dialogue. I saw folks from the Iowa Master Farmer Award and spoke to them about the event and a big milestone they have coming up. Please be sure to like and follow the podcast as well as our social media at Field Forward Pod. We would love to have you join our community, keeping folks informed about what is affecting our farmers. This is Farm Your Daily. And joining me on Farm Your Daily, we are at the World Food Prize, and with the Iowa Master Farmer is Rod Swoboda. Rod, so glad to have you on the program, and thank you so much for joining us. We are at the World Food Prize, based here in Iowa, and you are representing the folks at the Iowa Master Farmers. What is that relationship? What is the purpose of being here and being representatives at the World Food Prize?
Well, I'm the retired editor of Wallace's Farmer magazine, retired at the end of 2020. And the Master Farmers officers and board of directors made me an honorary Master Farmer. I worked with the program for the 44 years that I was on the staff at Wallace's Farmer. So I've worked with a lot of these people and a lot of these award recipients over the years. And the purpose that we're here, we have a mobile exhibit that has information about the Master Farmer program, how to nominate someone for the annual award. And the reason we're here with this mobile exhibit is to get ready for next year, for 2026, which will be the 100th anniversary of the Iowa Master Farmer Award.
100 years of the Iowa Master Farmer Award. What does that legacy mean?
Well, Henry A. Wallace started it in 1926 to honor good farming, clear thinking, and right living. And that was the motto of his family's magazine back in those days. They had it printed on the cover. So he started that. And 1926 was a very busy year for Henry A. Wallace. That was also the year he started this little seed company out here at Johnston, Iowa called Pioneer. So it's going to be 100 years old next year also.
That is a really long time and a really incredible legacy to have. You were talking about how you retired from working at Wallace's Farmer, and now you're here working this. Why would you go back to work?
Well, this should be commemorated here, this 100 years, and that was the idea of a master farmer named Bill Northey. And he was our vice president then in the end of 2023, and at our annual business meeting, he suggested that we come up with some ideas to commemorate this upcoming 100th anniversary. And he and I were on a committee and with some other master farmers, and this was one idea we came up with, was to put together just a mobile tabletop exhibit to give the Master Farmer Award some program, some publicity, and with nomination information, and then we have a listing of the Master Farmer history of all the names by year of there's over 400 farmers and Exceptional Service Award winners that have won the Master Farmer Award.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
You mentioned Bill Northey, former U.S. Undersecretary of Agriculture, former Department of Agriculture Secretary here in Iowa, and truly a huge loss for Iowa agriculture. He also had a lot of history in the Iowa Master Farmers.
Well, I remember when I interviewed him and his wife Cindy after they had been awarded the award when they were recipients, and that was in 2016. And I was sitting on their couch here at their apartment in Des Moines, and I showed him the Master Farmer history book then. I said, this is never going to happen again. You're the fourth generation of your family to receive this award. And he knew about that. And on the cover of that history book, which was written in 2007, there's a black and white picture there of the first Master Farmer class, well, the first and second Master Farmer class. And then he picked out his great grandfather's picture in that photo. So Bill knew about that, but his wife Cindy didn't, and she was very proud of that also.
Well, I didn't know about it either, and I appreciate you sharing that story. That's really fun to hear about. I want to go back to something you were talking about, how that was an idea of Bill to kind of show off what you all have been doing and recognize 100 years of Iowa's Master Farmer Award. And we are at the World Food Prize, which is a stage for global participation, global folks. What does it mean to relate the need and the importance of the Iowa farmer to that global stage?
Well, the Iowa farmer is just a good example and a lead of success in food production, and to help areas of the world that need to increase their food production. So there's 1,200 people come here to this conference in the heart of the agricultural production in the United States, in Iowa, and they're learning from each other here, and that's I guess that's the main reason to have this, is to and we learn from them too, the different things here that I've listened to these different presentations today. So
what's something that you learned?
Well, in African countries, they're concerned about things like water quality and controlling erosion and biological ways to increase nitrogen in the soil and to produce egg products and food more economically and environmentally. So it's not just something here that we're trying to do in the United States. They're trying to do this all over the world.
Do you think there's a place for conversation since we share similar goals to learn more about how the other works with the challenges and solves the challenges?
Yes, and that's that's a purpose of this meeting. And then I talk to some of these bigger agricultural companies now that they're working overseas too, and they're taking what they learn here in the United States in terms of seed development and developing better disease-resistant varieties, and they test them over some of these other countries too also.
I want to just look at the diagram that we see in front of us. You mentioned 400 plus Iowa Master Farmers. When you look at all the names on here, we talked about Bill. Is there someone that kind of stands out to you as a really strong representative of what it means to be an Iowa Master Farmer?
Well, they all are. I do look through here, and there some of them have real strength in community leadership. Some of them were state leaders, national leaders in farm organizations, and some of them were just maybe they didn't have any of that, national recognition, but they're in their local community. They serve their local communities well, in school boards and FFA leadership and working with things locally, and then say township trustees or whatnot. So to be a master farmer, you don't necessarily have to be, a president of a state or national organization. But if you're, looking at no-till and or you're not just looking at it, but have been doing it and other conservation practices, that's a positive for agriculture.
Rod, let's kind of go back to the beginning here. Part of the reason you guys are here is to talk about ways to nominate people and bringing more awareness of Iowa Master Farmer. What is the best way to nominate someone or learn more about the organization?
Well, the current editor of Wallace's Farmer, you can contact him, Gil Gullickson, and send him an email, or you could go to farmprogress.com with Wallace's Farmer, Master Farmer, and then there's a QR code to nominate someone. So anyway, you can either visit the website or do the QR code.
So what would be an ideal candidate for a nominee if someone was listening and was like, oh, this is the person that farms near me, or this is my family member? What's that ideal person?
Well, I think the Master Farmer motto of good farming, clear thinking, and right living is something to really follow and consider. The things like what you're doing, someone's doing, say, with value-added agriculture, that's today, and of course conservation practices, and then community involvement, that sort of thing. But that's, you don't have to be the biggest farmer in your county, to be deserving of this award.
Rod Swoboda is with Iowa Master Farmer, also a former writer of Wallace's Farmer. Thank you so much, Rod, for joining us on Farm Your Daily.
Thank you, David.
This is Farm Your Daily, a Field Forward podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Again, in order to continue to produce this type of local content, we would love to have you join our community, so please follow the podcast as well as our social media channels at Field Forward Pod. You can also find me on social media at Geiger Reports. Again, I am your host, David Geiger, and I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody.